Hey everyone, welcome back to Alchemy with Zero Phase. This is Eric, and this is the second video in we'll call it the Storybook image creation series, where we are showing you how to create consistent characters, character poses, how to extract those characters out so they can be used to overlay into other images. And the initial video, I went through and showed you a prompt I used to generate a kind of a character sheet, front, back, side, whatever, how to also get different facial positions with facial emotions, all while maintaining the same character face, not necessarily having to use IP adapter too, which was nice. In this video, what we're going to do is create a background and that is consistent with the characters. So the character we created, let me show you here, is this guy here. He looks, I don't know, rebellious. Kind of reminds me of me. Just looks like he's going to be getting into trouble and just be mischievous all around. Okay. I wanted different poses because, with a young boy, he's going to be doing some action and getting into things. So at this point, hopefully if you've created or thought about this and thought about like what kind of a story do you want this character to be in. And, I haven't really thought a whole lot about this since I just got done with the other video. But I'm kind of thinking maybe just have him wandering through like mountainous terrain, exploring maybe an abandoned mine or something like that. I don't know. I thought that'd be kind of a fun adventure. So what we want to do is get something that will fit this character, and it'll be in the same style that we used before. So we had a particular artist's name, and that artist was Ryan Stegman, and we are going to use that artist to need to bring out the style in this particular character. Now, there's a lot of debate on whether we should be using artist names. And I, at this point, realized that this is honestly no different than if I were to spend, the last 20 years learning different artist styles and incorporating that into mine and making my own. When we create these characters, when we create these images, they are not exactly like the style of these artists. They are different. Okay, they have some similarities, but it's no different than if I were to go and learn how to do that style. It would have my own touch to it. This has the AI touch to it. We're not using any of their art in our images. It is just the style, and there's no copyright on style. There really isn't. I understand a lot of artist complaints about, they think that it's stealing an artist's art. I don't necessarily agree with how these companies went about collecting the art to do the initial training on the AIs. And since then, they've fixed a lot of those issues. So we're not going to worry about that. This is the artist I've decided I really like to incorporate the kind of style that he has in the art that we're going to be doing for this. And this is just as an example too, where we're just going to show how this is done. Okay, so I want to create an image using his style. What we're doing is we've selected his name. And we're going to leave that as is. We're going to close out of this, come up to our prompt generator here, and then we're going to just say, we're going to create a couple different prompts, a few different prompts for different scenes. But, just to give you an idea, we're just going to do one because I want to give you an idea of what this technique is in getting the character in the scene. So we're going to do... let's see, illustration of a, I want the view to be like a mountain trail in a forest, rocky, lots of foliage, abandoned log cabin. Let's get it. We're just going to throw that up to 5 prompts. We're going to click that because we're using an artist style and just see what it gives us here. Just give it a second to pop those up. We'll grab that. Let's just come back over here and throw these down into the prompts from file or text box script and throw those in there. Okay. So we are going to do this. I want to do this as a since we're talking Storybook, you know, they could be any aspect ratio, honestly. So with the scene I'm describing, I kind of want it landscape, one of those wide format storybooks maybe, okay? And we'll do a little bit of a negative prompt, turn it down a little bit, and hit generate. This is we're gonna generate 5 different images, see what it comes up with here. That's nice. Actually, it does look, it is maintaining the style I want. Matches the character, so this should blend pretty well. Give it a second. We're going to pause and go through the rest of them. We'll come back. Okay, we got our images. Let's take a look at these. Just kind of see what we got here. See which one we want to go with. Kind of like that one. That one fits the style pretty good. We'll upscale this too. I want this to be an upscaled image, so we'll add some detail to it. We're going to pick the one that we want to use in this. I kind of like the one with all the logs, and I'm looking at the positioning. Now again, if you're doing this based off of a story, you're going to be a little more detailed in how you want this to look and getting the camera angle and everything else. I think one of these should work fine for what we're doing. It is interesting. I think what we're looking at also is the character images I have. So if I show these to you, if we're looking at this with this image, we're going to shrink this down a little bit, kind of bring this over here so we can kind of see what we're looking at here. So we can have a couple, like, this isn't bad. You know, we're thinking about character placement up on the hill, on the trail here. He's looking off in that direction. We could put him over here. Jumping, we could have him jumping off the rock right here, or off this rock right here. Flip it around so maybe he's jumping down this way, okay? And running. I like that one. We could go with that one, I think. We're going to show you, we're going to try some advanced techniques. He may not be in the exact position, but once we put him in there, we will be able to kind of modify this and re-render this again using ControlNet, Inpainting, and everything else. So I kind of like that one. Let's see, what else we got here. That one's not bad. Maybe that one's a little bit better. I like the styling a little bit better. And you could be jumping off the rocks right there. I like that. Okay, let's go with that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the seed from this one. Place it in there. Grab the prompt. What I'm doing is I'm going to be upscaling this using a high-res fix. Okay, we're going to paste. Oops, forgot. Control-C is a little weird when it comes to this part right here. Make sure we got the whole thing. Come over here, put it in here. Okay, now we're going to disable the script down here. We're no longer using that. We got the image, the scene we want. We got the seed in there. It should generate the same seed, but we're going to do a high-res fix on it. We don't want to change the whole scene a whole lot, so we're going to go down to 0.5 and hit generate. This will just take just a second to upscale this. Okay, got our image. Let's blow this up and see what it looks like here. Oh, that looks good. You know, if you're looking at inconsistencies, there's lights in the cabin. I mean, it's supposed to be abandoned. You could fix that with some Inpainting. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. I like this. We can work with this. Okay. So we're going to save this image. And what we're going to do, we're going to go over into Gimp at this point. And if you've not used Gimp, I would suggest you get into it. It's pretty easy to use. Or if you use Photoshop, you'll get the concept and you'll understand what I'm going to show you. Okay. So we're over in Gimp. And what we're going to do initially is we're going to bring over the image we just created. I'm just going to drag that in there. Okay. So now it's just a matter of figuring out like how we want to place the characters. Okay, so we're actually going to be placing maybe 2 or 3 in here, so you get an idea of how to do placement, how to do sizing, based on scale, perspective, that kind of thing. Okay, should be pretty easy, should be pretty fun. Let's go ahead and let's do this first one right here. So I'm going to bring this over. We're going to bring this in as a new layer, I think. I think that's how this works. Let's see. So we're going to add a layer. When you add the layer, make sure it's the same size as the original image. And just make sure this says transparency down here. Okay. Sorry, let me go a little bit more step by step. I'm horrible at this. I get that. So in Gimp, okay, there's a couple different ways to add layers. Over here on the bottom right corner is your layers. Okay, we can actually, let's see if we can reposition this a little bit. Well, in either case, this is where your layers are down here. You can actually right click, go add new layer right here. Okay. Or you can go up here to layer and add new layer. Okay. Make sure it's just set to transparency and click OK. What that does is adds a layer above the other layer here. And if it's selected, that's the one we're going to be working with. Okay. Now you can actually bring over the image you want to start working with. So we're going to drag this one over and drop it right there. Okay. And as you can see, the remove background wasn't 100% perfect. You can kind of see there's a little bit of black around the hair. And that is not a problem. That's okay. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. Now even where he's at, you're now starting to get an idea of what this is. And we can do, oh, so it did actually create it as a different layer. That's good. That's good. We can actually, we'll leave this layer here. We'll bring this and start using this one right here. So we'll select that layer, the PNG there. And oh, hold on. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Not sure why that was. So now we can move this character wherever we want. Now we can do a bunch of different things with this layer. Okay. We can actually flip it. So if you come up here to layer, we can do transforms, which you can flip horizontally, flip vertically. Horizontally is the one you would normally, okay, something is not right. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. There we go. Okay. That was strange. It was selecting the wrong layer somehow. So I think we got the right one. Let's go ahead and undo back to here. Make sure we got that one still. Layer, transform, flip horizontally. There we go. Okay. I'm just showing you that so you know that you can flip it and get a different angle, different perspective, and be able to do different things with this image. So what I want to do is put him over here on this rock. Okay. So I'm going to just undo that flip. We're going to grab him and put him over here. Obviously, he's way too big. He's not a giant. Okay. So we're going to go back to layer. We're going to go to scale layer, and we're just going to start scaling this down. I don't know if there's a keyboard shortcut or if you can do Control Shift and like scroll button doesn't look like Control Alt maybe. Nope. Yeah, that one just does that. So again, there's probably tools that allow you to scale the image, the layer on the fly. But for now, all we're going to do is come here. We're going to go to scale layer and just start scaling this down until we get it to the size we want. We're going to go down to 300, about half the size of what it is now, just see what it looks like. So that's not bad. So you can put them right there. Okay. And let's zoom in on this a little bit. So that's really good. I mean, honestly, that's awesome. You could put them over on other things too, but it just doesn't fit right. But if you put them like right there and zoom out, what we're trying to do now is just gauge the perspective. Does that look right? Does that look like how big he should be at that distance? I'm going to say no. I'm going to actually say he should be a little bit bigger, honestly. So go back here. We're going to go back to layer again, scale, and then bring this down to maybe What do we do? 300. Let's do 400. Okay, reposition him. That looks a little bit better. Okay. Now don't worry about where this is. I'm going to show you how that works in the next video when we go in to do touch-ups. Right now, this whole video is about just getting them in the scene, getting them where you want, and figuring it out from there. Okay. So let's grab another image now. We want to add him in. Let's add him in. See, I want him one where he's walking away almost. And I'm going to need the one where he is. We're going to need one where he's facing away. Oh, well, let's just pick something else. Okay, so he's got the one he's crouching. Let's do the one where he's jumping. Let's figure that out. Okay. Maybe he's jumping off that rock right there. Okay. Again, we're just going to scale him a little bit. It's not bad. He's about where you'd want him to be anyway. No, let's flip him over. Transform, flip horizontally. Let's bring him over here and shrink him down a little bit. Let's go down to 300 this time. This time he's going to be jumping off of... I could put him jumping off the stairs. Let's do that. Okay, come down here. This is where, you know, you're going to lose some detail when you shrink him down this far. So, scale the layer again. Let's go down to 200. See where that fits. Yeah, maybe he's jumping off that rock right there. So we're going to need to shrink him down even more. You're getting the picture, though. Let's go all the way down to 100. See, there he is. Like, that would be the size I would think at that distance, right? He's kind of leaping off that right there. If he were standing up, he'd be about the same size as the door. Okay, a little bit shorter than the door. So let's put him over here. He's leaping off the rock. Okay, like that. Now let's grab one more here. Maybe he's just walking along. So let's do something a little different. I didn't try this in the other ones. Let's maybe put him walking from behind the rocks. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to put him right there. Let's shrink him down. Go down to about 300. He's going to be back a little ways. Okay. And what we want to do, this does not have to be perfect. You know, I don't want him that small. I want him a little bit bigger. You don't want to rescale back up because once you've scaled it down, it loses detail. So if you scale it back up, it's going to look blurry. There we go. Let's put him right there. Okay. And this is super simple. We're not doing anything super complex here. We're not going to mass this out, try to bring that rock forward. We're on this layer, so all we have to do is come over here to our eraser button, okay, and just erase his legs, okay, just like that. I mean, damn. There you go. Okay. Okay, I don't know. Maybe we should add one more. Let's see what we got here. Having a couple of them jumping and running. Not bad. I kind of wished I had one where he's walking away going up the stairs, but I didn't generate one for that. But you get the idea. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. We got this here. This one's a little bit big. We could actually scale him down just a little bit more. See if we can do that without messing things up too much. Okay, we'll grab him. Just position him down there again. Yeah, There we go. Okay. All right, you get the idea. You can use, so a lot of people have asked, can you do this in Stable Diffusion? I tried finding some sort of a technique, using Inpainting, using something to get the images in there, and there's just no easy way to do it. I think there's extensions that bring in some kind of a paint environment where you can kind of do it, but honestly, if you know Photoshop, it's just so easy. You get your character file set up and generate the image you want, bring them in as transparencies. It's just too easy, okay? So let's go ahead and save this. We're going to export this image and bring it over into Stable Diffusion. Okay, we're going to export this as a PNG, just so we have the full, we're not dealing with any artifacting, and then we'll see in Stable Diffusion here. Okay, so we are in Stable Diffusion. We're under Image to Image, and we are going to be going under Inpainting for this. We're going to bring over that image we just created. Okay, there we go. Now, if you're not familiar with, there are some options for being able to zoom the image, grab it, move it around, so you can get in and look at this at a much closer detail than you normally would. Control wheel moves or changes the size of the paintbrush. Alt and the mouse, or sorry, Alt and the scroll wheel will zoom in, and then F will grab it and you move the mouse around. Okay, so we're going to use this to get the effect we want. We're going to do a few different things here to help maintain the character. So what we're going to do first, we're going to zoom in on this character here. Let's move it over here so we have access to some of the other stuff. Okay, so we like the positioning. All we're going to be doing is we're going to make sure he looks like he's naturally on that rock, right? So what we want to do is, and the lighting is going to be, we're going to see if we can get the lighting right too. And the shading and everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to mask out the area around him. We're going to mask out him because he's got kind of lit up from behind. I don't know if that'll change too much here. But we're going to do this. Just mask all of this out here. We don't have to do the whole thing. Now here's the difficult part that we're going to be dealing with. Hopefully our Inpainting model, which is a 1.5 model, has similar training when it comes to the character style. This is where you might get a little bit of change, but hopefully with the reference control net, we should be able to maintain the same character style. Okay, so we're going to put that back there. We're going to come down here. We want to do only masked. We're going to change the only mask padding pixels up to, pretty high here because we want the AI to take into account the surrounding scenery for reference. That way it's able to blend it and understand, oh, he's on a rock. We need to modify that. There's lighting coming in from that direction, so we need to change the lighting on it. Okay, so we're going to increase that. We also want to increase the sampling steps a little bit to help blend it. We're going to change our model to an Inpainting model. My preferred Inpainting model is still the RPG Artist Tool V4 Inpainting. This one does not have VAE baked in, so you do need to select a VAE model that goes along with it. And I think the standard VAE FTM SE 840,000 works just fine. And because this is a 1.5 model, we do want a negative prompt in there. Okay. Mask blur. What this is going to do is it's going to incorporate and blur the edges a little bit. We don't have to do too much, I think, on this, but because it's an upscaled image, we're going to increase it to 8 for right now. We'll see how that works. And yeah, so only mask padding pixels is fine. We are doing only masks. We're going to switch this to Euler A for the sampling method because we're dealing with kind of a cartoony environment. We're not worried about super realism. And then the denoise strength we definitely want to bring down. We're going to try 0.6 to start off with. I don't know if that's going to be exactly, but we're going to go with it. Control net, we're going to do kind of the same thing we did before. We're going to upload a reference image. We're going to use, let's see where it is here. Give me just a second to find this. Yeah, so we're going to bring over the same. Oh, that is not the one. Give me just a minute. Okay, and we're back. Okay, sorry about that. I completely forgot to save one of those images that we needed as the reference image. So we're come back down here. We're going to drag that over in here. We want to make sure we're using the same one we used in the previous video or when we originally generated the characters to get the same style. Okay. We also want to make sure that we are using the same description. So if you come back here and we take a look at our description here, what we want is the where is it here? Go next page. I think it's on the next page. Scroll up, and we also want, I think I want the one where it's describing the green shirt. And it's interesting that it's got that there. I wonder if there's something wrong with how that was set up. But we got what we wanted. I'll have to readdress that. So we want to take this description, okay, right here. And yeah, it totally didn't do it. It should put that over there in the prompt. And we're going to grab that as a base, come back up here to image to image, paste it in here. Make sure we add in the green shirt. And okay, get rid of that. So we're just doing a few things to adjust the prompt. A black leather jacket. Come on, tan, hiking boots. Get rid of standing. Kneeling, okay. On a rock at sunset. It's kind of sunset right there, right? And let's see, anything else we need to modify? We got the artist style that we want in there, the age of the boy, sandy blonde hair, black leather jacket, tan, hiking boots, green shirt, kneeling on a rock at sunset. Everything else should be taken into account by the AI. We don't have to worry too much about that. And we got the reference down here, and those settings should all be fine, except we need to actually select reference. And it's going to do reference only. This works with any model, whether it's the obviously the SDXL 2.1 or 1.5, so we don't have to worry about that. So yeah, I think that's all we need to do. Let's give this a whirl. Let's make sure we have the, oh no, sorry, since we are in painting and we're using a 1.5 model, we're going to set this to a 1x1 and set this down to 768, which works well with 1.5, especially this one, and the RPG Artist tool works great at 768 scale. We'll see if this padding pixel works. We'll increase or decrease it. We can even add in a separate masked area further out if we're not getting the result we want, to incorporate more of the image as a reference. Okay, I'll show you what I mean by that here. So let's go ahead and generate. Let's see what this does. So it should set up and create this padded area with the character in the middle. It should blend it into the rock. We should get the shadows. And there we go. You see how it incorporated that? Again, we are dealing with a different model, so it is slightly different. Okay. We could try increasing the change here along with the resolution too. Let's just see what this does when we bring it up to 1024 by 1024. I don't think it's going to have the effect we want, honestly. This is really good. I would be very happy with that. But let's just see what this does, see if we get a little more detail out of this. I'm really frustrated that, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I need to go back and look. I know they got the SDXL model. Yeah, it's not doing what I want it to do. I don't like that. It's changing it way too much. So we need to bring this down. Let's go to 0.5. I don't like that they don't have a decent SDXL in painting model. Now I could use an SDXL model on this, just do the inpainting. It's going to leave a border and then go back and use a regular inpainting model to fix it. Okay. Yeah, see, it's doing some weird stuff because this 1.5 model is not designed for this. We are getting more of the style, but we'd have to inpaint this out down here or fix this down here. Actually, let's, and it's slower. Obviously, it's slower to get the, to do that because we're doing it 1024 and this model was not designed for that. Let's just reduce the effect down a little bit more here because we're just trying to blend the character in, right? So all we want to do, we're not wanting to modify the character position, body, or everything. So we just want to get that shadow, make it look like he's on there. And I think that's going to do it right there. Again, this is all experimentation. We're just figuring this out. We got the green shirt, the black jacket, his boots. It's looking good. So you can play with this and get the effect you want. You notice how it's blending in the background. The lighting, the shadow's coming from this direction. We're not getting too much of a long shadow, which is unfortunate. Maybe that's because I'm not incorporating more of the rock in. I don't know. We can give that a try and see. And we're also telling it not to change it a lot either. One of the things we can do, again, I told you we would try this maybe, is put a little mask out here and reduce the padding pixels down to like 40. Let's see, and let's increase the, where is it? This back up to 0.5. Try that again. Let's see if it gives us a little bit more. I incorporate more of the rock, but it should keep the character at least fairly the same, and it's going to mess the boot up a little bit there still. It's changing the rock back behind him. Oh, no, it fixed the boot. Okay. Again, sometimes if you do this right, you get the result you want pretty much right off the bat. Like, this is going to be good. It actually changed the angle of how he's standing a little bit. We have the green shirt still there. Okay. Shadow kind of drops off a little bit more. We're getting more the sun from the front kind of look. That's great. It's way more incorporated. Okay. Let's move on to the next character. I like that. We're going to go ahead and keep that. I mean, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. Obviously it could have been done better, but for the sake of the video, you get the idea and how that can be worked out. So we're going to send that over to Inpainting. We're going to get rid of the mask. We're going to make sure we are at a 1x1 again instead of, and we're going to go back to 768 by 768 for the next section here because we're dealing with some smaller areas. We're going to do the tiny one. Let's come up over here. We're going to zoom way in. This is going to be interesting because it's such a small area. I don't know if we're going to need to do much on this one. I mean, obviously his shadow could be over here. It could be over here. But let's go ahead and just see what happens here. Shrink this back down. We're going to change the description. Instead of kneeling on a rock, jumping through the air. And then everything else should stay the same. Doing the smaller size here, so we should maintain the character. Let's just see what that does. This is going to be interesting because it's such a small point, small area. Yeah, it totally messed it up. So we're going to drop this down. It could also be it's having a hard time deciphering the person too. See what it looks like here. There we go. Ah, that's good. It's adding the detail too. Character looks the same. Green shirt. And let's blow that up. Oops. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't look much different, but it looks like I think it looks more like he's there than before. So, and then this last guy here, let's send this over. Okay. And again, change it to the, oh, where are we here? Oh, we're in extras. Sorry. Send that over to Inpaint. Okay. Change this back to 1:1, 768. There is a setting, I think, somewhere in settings that you can tell it to not take the size of the image and adjust this, or it'll just keep your last setting. I found that more of a nuisance than not, so I keep it this way, and I just manually change it when I'm ready. So let's come back over here. We'll zoom in on him, and we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to select him. And yeah, I think that's all we're going to do with him. Let's shrink that back down. Let's grab that out of the way. So let me grab it. There we go. Sometimes you just got to be on the right area of the image. Okay, so let's change the description. He is walking behind a rock. And I'm gonna, just for kicks, we're gonna put a mask out here so the AI incorporates more area. It might reduce his detail, but let's see what it does. I'm hoping to get some of the lighting effect and have it change the overall shading on the character, maybe. That's okay. I mean, it looks pretty consistent. The shirt's a little lighter green. Overall, same style. I'd re-render that a couple more times, maybe, and reduce this down maybe to 0.45. I don't think I'd change anything else. Just to kind of see if we can get he's kind of looking off in that direction. He's like looking at the house or the log cabin. And you can actually specify that too, like walking behind a rock, looking up the hill. Bring that back up. And let's get rid of this other mask just to see what it does. I kind of want to incorporate like the log cabin in this, so I might change that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. It's kind of looking off in that direction now. Let's do one thing. Let's change. Yeah, let's change the. No, let's just do this again. But bring it over so it incorporates part of the cabin. And we're also going to increase this to 960. Let's just make it a little bit more high res so we can keep some of the detail. Or we lose what the character actually looks like. It's not what we want. Let's drop that back down to 0.42 maybe. Try that again. I just don't want to lose the way the character is set up. He doesn't have a backpack. There we go. Again, it's up to you. And honestly, you can leave it like that and change the face later. So the character sheet that we created that had the different face poses can be used for that. So it looks like he's kind of hiking down from out behind the rock right there. Lost some of the detail in it, and that's because we put the mask over here, incorporating a much larger area. Okay. So just keep that in mind. When you change this mask area, it changes the amount of reference that the AI has access to, but it also reduces the amount of focus it can put on that character right there. It's like, think of it as that 768 by 768, you're kind of stretching it out, you know, on that. I think I like that one better. Yeah, that looks really good. So we're going to do one last thing in this video. So that kind of tells you how to go about integrating those characters. Just remember that the thing that helps maintain character consistency if you're going to inpaint them is having this down here. Your original reference image, using it as reference so that you get that consistent looking character in your images. So last thing we're going to do is show you how to use the IP adapter to adjust a face. Let's say this face right here, where he's up on the rock, he's angry. You know, we did that character image face of the different angled angry faces. Okay, we can take these and incorporate that onto that face. Okay, so what we're going to do, I haven't separated these yet, so I'm going to separate just a couple of them so that I can show you how this is done. Okay, so just so you know what I'm doing, I brought the grid in here, and all I'm doing is just selecting the area around the face, because I just want the face. I didn't care about the clothes. And then I'm exporting those as PNGs, individual PNGs. I don't know why that's like that. Did we not get all the right ones? Let's see. No, we did not. Hold on. So I'm doing a Control C. We're going to create a new image from that and then exporting it as we'll do face 2, replace that. And then the same thing we're going to be doing, let's see, we got that one. I think it was this one right here. So we're going to select this one right here, Control Shift V. Nope, sorry. Control C, Control V, Control Shift V, and then Control Shift E. And then this one will be face 3. Okay. Export, replace, and then export. Okay. Now we can come back into Stable Diffusion. And we got this image now. Let's send this over to Inpaint. Okay. And what I want to do, we're going to clear the masks. And with this one right here, let's increase the mask size. And then we're just going to mask out his face. We're going to keep the style. Actually, no, we're going to mask out the entire head. Okay. And obviously, we're going to keep the same Inpainting model because that'll help blend everything and make it look nice. But down here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Control Net Unit 1. We're going to select IP Adapter. We're going to enable it too. I don't know if we need Pixel Perfect for this, but let's go ahead and enable it anyway. We're going to upload an independent control image. And we're going to bring over one of those faces. Let's bring over this one. Okay. Then we're going to come down here. I don't know if we need to modify anything in this right now. Let's just see what it does. Okay. All it's going to do, oh, we also got to make sure we're back to a 1 by 1. We're going to do 768 by 768 with this one. We're on only masked. We don't need a lot of padding on this. I'm just going to leave it at 32. I think it's fine. Sampling steps 30 I think should be fine. And the mask blur at 8 should be fine. We may reduce the mask blur, but let's just see what it does. Okay. We're only doing this masked area, so let's just go ahead and hit generate and kind of watch what it does here. The IP adapter using the face. So when we selected the IP adapter, it should have automatically selected the IP adapter plus face model. So that one I did show. I have an extension or a link in another video. I'll try to link that one as well. Doesn't seem to be doing it. Let's see here. Oh, you know why? It's because of this. We got to change the denoise strength. We actually have to change. So it's changing the face quite a bit, and then it should incorporate that. So let's try that again. So another thing I forgot, we need to change the description. So, and we want to kind of match what it's doing here. So he's kind of angry looking, angry, maybe yelling. So let's see. We're not focusing on the tan hiking boots. We're not focused on any of that. So we actually want to get rid of this. Okay. It was also describing behind a rock, and so we're getting a lot of changes here. So what we're going to do angry, yelling, and we're going to say cabin in the background. Okay, sometimes you just have to admit when you're defeated. So I'm having difficulty getting this facial expression to transfer over to here. And I think the reason why is maybe it's because of how low res this is. I'm not sure. But the IP adapter seems to be having problems, I guess, identifying this face and transferring it over to here. I'm going to try one more time, but that seems to be, I think, what's going on here. Is it's just not identifying the face. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. We're going to show a different technique. I know this video is running a little long. I appreciate you guys sticking with me on this. But let's give this one more try. We're going to just mask out the face here. And I know I got this at 1.3. Let's just bring that back down there. Let's just see. Let's try one more time to see if it will identify the face and put it on there. Just getting a little frustrated. I've tried a bunch of different things, changing the padding size and everything, and it's just not doing it for some reason. Like I've had, like, working with realistic images, you know, photo images, things like that. It's the difficulty I have is trying to get to not take the exact face. Like I want the similarities, but I want the face to be there, but have a particular type of expression. But now I'm not getting the expression I want. I'm pretty sure that might be why. It's just having a hard time with that. Let me try one last thing here before we move on to the next technique that we're going to try. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do fill. Turn that up. Let's just see what fill does instead of using the original. I get the feeling it's going to be completely messed up, but I could be wrong. Yeah, we're not, I mean, it's way too, like, I don't know, rebel looking. It's not the same style that I'm looking at. It's too big. So we're not going to worry too much about it. I think what it may come down to is you may need to take the original image that this character was done with and take it to Inpainting and just mask it out and then re-render it and getting the face you want. Or what we're going to do is we're going to take this image. Let's just do this. Actually, get rid of this mask. We're just going to do this. We're going to render one image. Full screen, and take it into Gimp, and we're going to show you something. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do is I've brought this image over. As you can see, this is the one we did the Inpainting on, got the character where we want them, kind of thing. And what we're going to do, I took that face, I upscaled it just a little bit and turned it into a transparency, so you get this. And what I want to do is we're going to come on, grab it, bring it over here. We're going to scale that down quite a bit. So I want to say probably we're at 700. Let's go down to maybe 150 and see where we're at. No, too small. Okay. Let's try 225. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're just going to overlay this over the top of that character. It looks like he might need to be scaled just a little bit more. So do 235 maybe. Okay. That's all we're going to do. We're going to do that like that. Okay. grab that eraser. This is where you find out how good. Oh, is that the eraser? Yeah, that's the eraser. Why are we not erasing? Are we on the wrong one? Oh, okay. What we got going on here? Okay. I don't know what happened. There was a bit of a glitch. I had to undo everything, verify the eraser worked, re-import the image, and now I got it where I want it. And so all I did is, again, I use it's a layer. So as long as you have that layer selected, you select the eraser, you just erase that section there, and what's underneath shows up. Okay. I think we could even, I want to see what this does here. Like we could even get the hair style back because that's what's underneath. So all we want is that face. I don't know if that's what we want, but yeah, let's keep that. Okay, what we're gonna do? Let's export this and move on. I'll show you. We'll just readjust that so you can see what's gone. But we got the character face, and let's move. Okay, back in Stable Diffusion, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to come back over here and grab that new one we did. Okay, come over here. We're going to zoom in on him, and we're just going to grab his head there and zoom back out. And we are going to adjust this back down. We don't want this to be changing much here. We want to get rid of this as the reference, and we want to go back to, not that, let's see. Where is it here? This right here. Use that as a reference. Leave everything else the same. Make it a stronger reference. Steps. Well, the sampling steps to be up. Okay. 1:1 again. 768. Okay. And then we are ready to go, I think. Let's go ahead and generate and see if, because all we want to do is for it to readjust the coloring, get rid of that borders that were on, the borders that were there where we erased. Oh, okay, hold on. Only masked. Try that again. I tell you what, this is an adventure trying to get this to work right. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Wanted that mouth open, kind of that look like he's yelling. I could add, we need to include the words up here. Angry and yelling. Almost like he's looking over at himself there saying, hey, you. There we go. I would use the A detailer on this afterwards, but yeah, he's looking pretty pissed there. I'd actually reduce the number of steps we're doing because it's kind of overdoing it, but that's, you get the idea, you know? Reduce the only mask padding, reduce the number of steps down, and actually reduce the amount of change we're doing too. So, because we're getting rid of what was there, and we're on only mask. Okay, yeah, so there we go. Much better. What an adventure. Okay, yeah, so you're getting the idea here. So we went through generating the characters, creating the transparencies. We've gone in the first video, and then came through, showed you how to integrate them using Gimp, simple tools to place them, size them, and then coming back into Stable Diffusion and just adjusting, touching up. So really, probably the most tedious part is generating those characters, getting them in the positions you want, and whether it's walking away, walking towards, turning, looking over their shoulder, that's all prompting. Just remember to use that style or the reference to maintain the style of the character. Okay, that's how you maintain the consistency. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. I know this one ran a little long. We're almost an hour. Good night. And heck, turn the speed up on the video next time you watch it. If you watch it, maybe you should have said that. I should have said that before at the beginning. But yeah, I hope this helps people in figuring out how to create these storybook images. And I'll be doing some too. I want to create some for my daughter, and hopefully some that she'll enjoy later on. So like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Again, I realize this is long. Okay, please don't leave comments saying, "Dude, make it shorter." I get it. I've tried to keep them under 30 minutes. This one went a while. There's just a lot of detail to it. Anyway, very raw, very real. I'm not a high production company, and if you like it, stick with me. We'll talk to you later.